What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and today we're going to be talking to new legend Ed Reed, and many of you guys have been asking, is he worth it? Now, that all depends, bro. If you're a Ravens fan, obviously he was part of one of the most dominant defenses that I've ever seen. Like, they pretty much, wasn't that the defense that beat, who did they beat on like that? It was the Giants, right? They beat on the Giants crazy. I know that they weren't giving up points. They beat on somebody really, really crazy. I just don't remember exactly what happened in the playoffs, but that team was running wild. I think it was 2000. You guys can remind me, especially all you Raven fans. I know you can't wait to talk about it. But the one staple that was always, known on that defense was Ed Reed. What I'm most disappointed about, okay, let me just tell you what my disappointment is. His hit power. I know a lot of you guys are like, yeah, bro, the hit power is kind of trash. For me, when I watched this man hit people, it wasn't like, it wasn't a nice thing. Like, if Ed Reed was hitting you, it wasn't like something you're gonna be like, all right, let me go see my girl. You know what I'm saying? We're going out on a date. You probably had 4 concussions that they didn't diagnose at that time, to be honest. The dude was knocking blocks off. And for some reason, EA Sports thinks that it's okay to give him an 87 hit power. Now, this is what actually happens with me. I grew up around a football family, right? So I was very, very young watching football and didn't really understand why everybody was excited when somebody was leaving on the stretcher, okay? So that's the old school way of football. The new school way, if you touch somebody with your pointer finger, you're getting suspended for 15 games, they're gonna take 3 of your checks, and they're gonna bang your moms. So the NFL has changed, and I understand that a lot of people are getting, what is that? The brain issues. It's a lot of things. People think that what's the dude's name? Antonio Brown. They think that Antonio Brown has those issues right now. Like, his brain is just completely CTE'd up because he's doing some really weird stuff. I understand all that, but let me just point something out. The game is designed to be a violent game, and I understand you want to make it safer, but as far as the decision that's being made, these are adult men that are making the decision. I wouldn't want hockey to remove the fighting. It's just certain things that I just don't want removed, and they can make the game safer as much as they want, but people are going to still get hurt. It's football. So with that regard, I don't know if EA is looking at it like, you know what, let's give him an 87 for now, and then when he gets his ultimate legend, we'll give him the higher hit power. He's a guy that I feel should always have at least a 90 plus hit power. Because if you even Google it, just Google Ed Reed big hits. Dudes were not getting up and being happy afterwards. Like, they weren't going to have a SpongeBob popsicle. Like, you weren't going to leave and be like, yo, everything is good for me today. And that's what I don't like ultimately about his card. Everything else I can deal with. I like the 91 zone, all that stuff. Yeah, that's all good. But then you got to also think about, it's Tillman out there. You see what I'm saying? Like, and we already know Pat Tilley don't play games. Like, Pat Tilley is causing fumbles every single game. Like, the dude is an animal out there on the field. And that's one thing that you have to give EA Sports credit for. They messed up by patching him, and then they repatched it, and then he can hit again. But that, like I said, he's been an unbelievable card no matter what. If you guys want to downplay, like right now, I'm raging about some of these stats, but you have to give you have to give them credit as far as, the developers and the way that they made Pat Tillman, because he is a very unique, strong safety, which is why, getting to my point, is this guy worth it? He's probably not, unless you're a Ravens fan or you haven't completed MUT Master. Now, some of you guys are like, yo, bro, I'm very close, whatever, I gotta get the fumbles. You can play any solo on arcade and let the computer fumble every single time. It's not even a question about it. So you play any arcade solo, it's a wrap. Dudes are fumbling all the time. So there's really not that big of an issue getting it. I saw some of you guys leaving some questions about it. Many of you guys are newer viewers, but you guys have to understand that when you're looking at these new cards, I don't feel that his card is going to be valued very, very high, simply because what are you going to do with him? Like, let me give you guys an example. I got to break it down for you guys a little bit more, and many of you guys have been enjoying the complete breakdowns, but ultimately, after you play the solos, you get that for free, and then you get all the 5 stars, and then everything is good. Oh, we got 500 career defensive forced fumbles. Great. See, that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to force fumbles. It's a joke, bro. It's honestly a joke. Larry Little, we're not even looking at him like that. I don't even know why would you release that guy ever? Like, that dude sucks. But that's not what this is about. Like, you guys are getting off track. You guys are getting my mind way off track. It's not about Larry Little being a terrible player. What this is about is why Ed Reed is not worth it in my book. So let me just make sure that my MUT dedication is good. Make sure you guys are double checking everything. Okay, is that what I'm supposed to have? 82, like, I don't know if EA is jipping me. I don't know what's going on anymore, dog. Like, I really don't even know if I'm supposed to have, that amount, because some days they miss it, some days they don't. I don't know what's happening. it is what it is. But let's go. Let's continue. As we go to the store, right? We're gonna go inside there. We're gonna check some stuff out real quick. So this is the issue that I'm having right now. Okay, Lawrence Taylor, we was checking him out earlier. This dude's price dropped mad wildly. You guys should go cop a Lawrence Taylor. He's still the best right outside linebacker in the game. I don't care about that Jadeveon Clowney. I don't care about all the other stuff they're doing. He's still the best. So what we're looking for now, I just got off track. Jamal Adams. So Jamal Adams, right? If you're looking for a strong safety, let's just say that you're like, you know what? I'm just looking for a strong safety. I really like Ed Reed, but I want a game changer, and I want to know why he's a game changer. Okay, let me just explain something that's going on with this card right here. You see this MUT hero? He's kind of garbage, but he's not though. Like, you got to understand, like, you see that 94 hit power? Let me show you what's going on, right? Tillman has a 93. So what happens is, if you get a couple of these guys, and I don't recommend just having enforcers running around, whatever, I'm going to actually wait until my other players can get enforcer, because Pat Tillman is enough. If you're using your safety, like if you're trying to stop the run game and all that stuff, you don't really need to be running around with everybody having enforcer. You got to have people just having high hit power, and then they're going to do ridiculous things. Now, the 91 zone with Ed Reed, that's a plus. I'm not going to take that away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty good. Everything is cool with that. He has like a 91 speed or something like that. That's all fine as well. But this is the issue. When you power up Jamal Adams, an 88 speed, like this dude, he's an 89. But Ken Houston, he doesn't typically get burnt. But I understand this, you know, the fear of having somebody under a 90 speed, because dudes will go and throw a streak and your safety will get burnt in this game, even when you're playing like the best defense ever. But if that's something that you were looking for as far as hit power and a game-changing strong safety, I would recommend just going Jamal Adams. Because at the end of the day, if a dude is running the ball every single snap and he doesn't care about anything, he doesn't care about oxygen, he's not even breathing. The dude is what is it, amoeba? He's just like a one-cell organism. Like, he's just running the ball every single snap. He doesn't care. He's gonna pop it up. Jamal Adams gonna get that ball up out of him. You know what I'm saying? Pat Tillman gonna get that ball up out of him. And remember, you don't need to necessarily power, you know, just do all that stuff with you don't have to necessarily put the enforcer and all the other things on him. He's gonna naturally hit stick. Now, the click off hit stick is gonna be different though, because what I've noticed is they make Pat Tillman unique in that every time you click off, the dude is getting his block knocked off. Like, it's crazy. But the high hit power, these players, when they engage, even when the AI does it, when you click off of them, even without enforcer and it's not Pat Tillman, they still get crazy animations. This guy will cause a lot of fumbles for you if that's something that you're looking for at that position. And it's so weird to me, because if we power him up, right, we get him to an 88 speed, we'll add, we'll add the sprinter to him, get him to an 89. He'll be similar to Ken Houston as far as zone coverage, but he's better man. So, and obviously better hit power. And then with that being said, now you can really adjust your defense, because when you have those psychopaths that want to come out and just run out routes, like myself, on a regular basis, these dudes in man coverage, if you shade correctly, they'll play it because they have the decent man coverage. So you would get an upgrade with this guy and just replace Ken Houston if that's something that you wanted to do. And then you'll get the same 89, whatever like that, but just somebody with more hit power. You know what I'm saying? So if it comes down to it where they're running the ball, you bring your safeties down in the box and you just set it up for major hits, and you're going to have a lot more success with Jamal Adams than you would with Ed Reed, simply because of that hit power. So, you know, it's very, very difficult, because like I said, I want you guys to enjoy, you know, just have a good time with your team, have a fun time building your squad, all that good stuff. But again, it's very, very difficult for me to do something like tell you, okay, yeah, this is okay to do this is okay to do that. I don't feel comfortable just because it's Ed Reed. Like it's not like that for me, bro. Because I know you guys, you're gonna come back like, yo, yo, bro, what is this about? Like, dude got an 87 hit power. He couldn't hit my grandmother. Like, bro, but why are you talking about hitting your grandmother? You're a psycho for that. But I understand what you're saying. Like, he's that soft that he would just brush her off, and she can't take no hits, bro. You know, grandmas ain't taking no hits. But I understand what you're saying, and that's why I would urge you guys to understand going forward. I wouldn't recommend that you go ahead and you do anything with, you know, Ed Reed, unless you're a Ravens fan. Okay, and you can power him up and get his hit power up to a suitable amount. Okay, you already see his speed is there, so you get him, like, you know, a lot faster and do things like that. But getting that hit power up over a 90, this is another problem that I have with EA Sports and the way that they do their attributes. When you start doing stuff like that and powering it up, and it's outside of this screen, like if it doesn't show right here, I still have a lot of doubts in what really matters and what doesn't. But that's just me, because I play the game a lot, and I see that a lot of things don't matter unless it's on this screen. If you feel that those upgrades that you're doing with like lockdown, zone run, all that stuff works, feel free to continue to do so. I have no issue with it. Bro, have a good time with it. It is what it is. 12,000, we get rid of this guy for 10. People are spending coins like that. Nobody wants to play the solo, bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell this guy for 10 because I have no interest in you know, completing his set or doing anything like that or upgrading him, because it's just not worth it for me. You know what I'm saying? The dude is 5'11", running around, not doing anything, and then everybody wants to run around with him. Like, that's not what it's about right here. Like, we're not going that route. So I would ultimately go after Jamal Adams if you're in need of a strong safety. It's going to cost you because you're going to have to get that sprinter on him and some other things maybe to get him to the right level of what you're going to need him to be. But that's something that I would do. I will also point out that if you go the route of doing it this way and just doing the sets with some of the cards that you got, like from just pack openings or whatever, however you've been doing it, it might work out that it'll be cheaper to go this route. Now, I sold some of his 80 to 81s, so that is gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be kind of weird because they're like 7,000 or something like that. So that's 70,000 for that 10, and then you would have to see what these guys are. You'd have to get these guys for cheap. Yeah, he's 40. And what's the other guy? This guy should be like very cheap as well. So we're looking at, what is that? 47. So that, let's just say 50, and then these guys are like 40 each. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at 50 plus what, 200? The set is too expensive unless you pull the pack and you have a decent amount of 80 to 81s. Because generally, what I noticed about these guys, they were averaging like 7 the last time I checked. Okay, they're up to 8 now. So you see the math on it? It just doesn't work out. It would be much better to just buy them, and then you have to do everything else as far as powering him up. And I think that he would be much better at this time than Ed Reed. And it's unfortunate for me to say that because I love me some Ed Reed, but if they don't do the card right, they're both 91s, all that stuff. Guys, I'm not going to send you down a rabbit hole. Like, why would you spend all this when you can get the full card for 200 with, the other guy, and you pretty much, get him to 89 speed the way Ken Houston is? He's not getting burnt deep for 6. Unless you put him in man coverage and you man him up and you're an idiot, he's not going to get burnt deep for 6 if you have him back at safety and, you play it right. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you shouldn't have any issues, even with the other speed being there. And look, we just made a quick 9K because we did the solo. So obviously that price is going to drop down to about 4 or 5K because people are going to realize, what are we doing out here? We got Pat Tillman. It doesn't make any sense. And let me just point something else out as well. When you look at the way my lineup is, Ken Houston only plays in when I'm playing nickel. Other than that, we have Calvin Johnson and Pat Tillman out there. So it would be like a sub linebacker package. If you have a lot of nickel, you play a lot of nickel, whatever, that would be ideal. For me, I can just sell Ken Houston right now and invest into Jamal Adams, just have a better backup strong safety, so that when I go into games and I run nickel, I put him at, I leave him at strong safety, and I bring Pat Tillman down as my user because he has lurker and all the other craziness. And then it works out better for me that way. So, that's what I would urge you guys to do. I would go after Jamal Adams instead of Ed Reed. It's unfortunate, but in this game right now, being so run-based, you need the most hit power that you can get. And I just want to also point out, once the game is patched, all of that may change, but I don't think it's going to change. You know what I'm saying? I think the game is just run-based, and people are going to have to get better, regardless of what EA does to try to help them out. I think they're going to just have to get better ultimately. So with the way the game is right now, get that hit power out there, those positions, and, do what you have to do. In some cases, you could probably sub him out for Calvin if you wanted to make sure, like if you're running, 3-4, and you want dudes out there with just maximum hit power, you could do that too. But the thing about Calvin is he's so big, and even though he only has like an 85 hit power, like you can't really beat him deep, because if they try to do a play action or some weird stuff, he's going to jump very, very high. Obviously, if he makes contact, he's not going to cause a fumble. But if this play action or whatever, he'll play better coverage. So it's a lot of different things you can do to kind of manipulate it. But ultimately, I would stay away from Ed Reed for now. All right, guys, if you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to drop me a line right there in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You have a good one. One love, y'all.